Oh man, oh man, oh man. This is getting good between the Big 12 and Colorado and the Pac 12 and everybody else potentially involved. I'm Pete Mundo, Heartland College Sports. Covering the Big 12 is how you find us. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. As always, we appreciate you being here. Also on the podcast. Thank you for helping us continue to grow the show. So this is just so good. This has actually been a pretty exciting week if you like the Big 12 expansion, conference realignment, drama, and rumor mill at a time of year when typically it's a little bit quieter. So the Colorado athletic director got into the conversation on Wednesday night. I don't know if you saw this, but there's this guy on Twitter, and his name is MHVER3. If you're a Big 12 fan, you probably know him. He's developed a big Twitter following with various Big 12 expansion rumors. He's a West Virginia guy. To be clear, I don't know him. I don't know anything about him. I know nothing about what he's all about. But he puts out a lot of interesting stuff about Big 12 expansion. Some of it seems to actually have some legs to it. Some of it might be just him throwing stuff against the wall. I don't know. But he's developed a cult-like following. So he put up on Wednesday night, quote, heard from a source that Colorado board may vote on leaving PAC as early as Monday. Now, we do know, and we reported this, that the Pac-12, Colorado, was having a Board of Regents meeting on Monday. They are having a Board of Regents meeting on Monday. And it's a private meeting, executive session only, so it certainly has sent up some people's spidey senses. To be expected, right? But the Colorado AD, athletic director, his name is Rick George. He got into the mix on Wednesday night, and he responded directly to this tweet from this unknown Twitter user. Nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows what his identity is. And he tweeted out, there's absolutely no truth to this tweet, that the board at Colorado could vote on Monday to leave the Pac-12. He said there is no truth to this tweet. Now, make of that what you will. Maybe there's no truth to the fact that Colorado would vote to leave the Pac-12 on Monday, but do I believe that Colorado is actively exploring the idea of leaving the Pac-12? I absolutely do. There's no doubt in my mind that Colorado has had those conversations. They'd be dumb not to have those conversations. So now you're sitting here as a Big 12 fan and you're like, wow, the fact, it's like, when you get into an argument with your spouse, right? Sometimes when you think about it, when they're very defensive, it's because they either know they were wrong, they know they were caught, whatever you want to say, however you want to put it. That's just a fact. And I look at this and I say to myself, okay, why is the Colorado AD finally chiming in here? Guy's been pretty quiet. Why is he finally chiming into the conversation at a time when this rumor mill is running wild from a guy on Twitter from West Virginia that nobody really knows? It's not like this was Dennis Dodd or us or somebody reporting, hey, Colorado could vote to leave the Pac-12 as early as Monday. It was a tweet from a guy who has been throwing Pac-12 rumors against the wall for a very long time. Now, it seems like he's been right on some stuff, but if we were to go through it, I bet you he's been wrong on a lot of stuff too. So I don't sit here and say, well, whatever this guy does is pure gold. That's not a good take. It's also not accurate. But this is the guy that the Colorado AD decides that he is going to put his foot down against and really respond to. That was kind of a weird play by Rick George. It makes you think that maybe something really is up. Now, maybe it's not a vote on Monday to leave, but something's going on there. So, I've thought that, and I believe that, and I've heard that through my sources for a very long time, that if there's a team that could end up flipping, it's Colorado. And I've laid out all the reasons why. It makes sense. It brings them back to the Big 12. It's a fit for both sides. Coach Prime, there's a little mojo there. Colorado doesn't want to be left, holding the bag, last man standing. Same reasons in large part they left the Big 12 to begin with. They've totally been irrelevant since leaving the Big 12. If you got a chance to get back and make more money, why wouldn't you do it? I know the ego of the academic folks is going to be hurt, but guess what? The academic folks have to realize there's tens of millions of dollars at stake here, and their egos have to handle it. I'm sorry, but they do at Colorado. So that was fascinating, and I still firmly believe that Colorado is the team to watch in all this. Now, the other team that's worth watching is Arizona. And Jason Scheer, he's with 247 Sports. He covers Arizona. He went on with our friends at Sikkim 365. And by the way, David Smoke of Sikkim 365 was on my show earlier this week. If you missed that, it's up on the podcast page wherever you get your podcasts. So it's not on YouTube. It's not on Facebook Live, but we had David Smoke on the podcast. So go to iTunes, Spotify, find the podcast, and you can listen to it there. David's a great guy. We talked a lot of Big 12 expansion and some Baylor as well. But they had on Jason Scheer of Arizona's 247 site. And he said flat out, he said, I know there have been conversations at Arizona exploring the possibility of going to the Big 12. Now, that doesn't mean it's a done deal. That doesn't mean that it's likely to happen. But any insinuation, any notion that those conversations have not taken place at Arizona is simply not accurate. They have taken place at Arizona. There's no doubt about it, they've taken place there. And it's going to continue, I believe. Until the Pac-12 has a new TV deal, all this stuff is going to continue. It's not going to end. And by the way, it should not end. Arizona and Colorado would be dumb to close the door on the Big 12. Why would they do that? Like, if you're either of those two schools, why would you do that? If Brett Yormark calls you and says, hey, just want to talk about the idea of you joining our league, why would you say no? It would be dumb to say no. It would make no sense to say no. You'd be wise to say, absolutely. Let's talk some more. Let's have that conversation, Brett. That's what they should be doing, and that's what it seems like they are probably doing to some extent. Because I firmly still just don't believe that the money's going to be there for the Pac-12 like George Kliavkoff and the rest of the gang with the Pac-12 thinks it's going to be. I do not see that being the case. And I think that with every passing day, that realization becomes more and more obvious, that it's simply not going to happen. It's not likely to happen. They're going to be disappointed in some way, shape, and form. And now if you're the Big 12, you have a chance to capitalize on that. You got a chance to literally put an end to one of the other Power 5 conferences. And the Pac-12 is going to blame the Big 12, but let's not kid ourselves. This all happened because of the Big 10. This all happened because of the Big 10. They're the ones that took USC and UCLA. Kevin Warren and the Big 10 got this ball rolling. Not Brett Yormark, not the Big 12. Anybody telling you that is not giving you an honest analysis of what actually is going on and has been going on. Now, with the national media, they're always going to take the Big 10 side. They're never going to take the Big 12 side. So expect that history will be unkind to the Big 12 in this conversation. There's no doubt in my mind. History will not, because like we see in the news, they don't want to report the facts. And the facts are this. This was not even up for debate until USC and UCLA bolted. They bolted for the Big 10, and then the floodgates opened. And then the Big 12 beat the Pac-12 out for a TV deal. Brett Yormark got the Big 12 to a TV contract before the Pac-12, and now the Pac-12 is floundering. The Pac-12 is now, reportedly talking to networks like the CW. Got a little Gilmore Girls and Dawson's Creek, followed by Oregon State and Washington State on a Friday night. What more could you possibly want on the CW? I almost dropped a bomb, but I didn't. The family-friendly show, I'm not going to do that to you guys. So, but seriously, you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, that's always made the most amount of sense. And now there's clearly smoke. I'm not saying it's a done deal. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. But anyone that's trying to convince you that there's no smoke, like some of these Pac-12 Twitter trolls, like what's the guy's name? Tony Altamonte, or I don't know what his name is. Tony something. Altamore or whatever. He is like, Mr. Pac-12 clown show, fanboy, weirdo, by the way. He's like blocking all these Big 12 people because they're hurting his feelings on Twitter. He's a real weird guy. Tony Altamore is his name, and he's become this kind of Pac-12 troll on Twitter, trying to defend the league. Clearly, he's a paid troll. That's very obvious. He's clearly a paid troll, and he's just like, it's one thing to defend a conference. It's another thing to do it in a very strange, awkward, bizarre fashion, and that's what he does, this guy. And he's kind of holding that mantle. He's the only one doing it. Meantime, you have people who actually cover the teams, like Jason Scheer at Arizona's 247 site, and he's out there saying, no, Arizona's talking to the Big 12. There's definitely smoke there. We got to watch this thing. Like, the guy that actually covers the team is doing that. And then you have these Twitter trolls and Pac-12 hacks out there, and there's only a couple of them, saying, the Big 12 is, just full of a bunch of media propagandists trying to, make this league look better. Well, I don't know about you, but I know this much for a lot of the people that cover the Big 12, myself included. I have no tie. I mean, I know a lot of people in the Big 12 and around the Big 12, but I have no tie to the league. They don't fund this website, right? I mean, we're independent. That's what we are. Now, we do well when the Big 12 does well, but it's not like I'm sitting here saying, gosh, I got to get my Big 12 talking points today. No, that's not what I've ever done. Been doing this now for 9 years almost with this website, with this operation. We are completely independent in what we do and what we say and what we report and who we talk to. So this notion that any of us that cover the Big 12 are somehow Big 12 lackeys trying to go out there and, make a point and lie to try to prove that, the Big 12 is going to expand and the Pac 12 is going to fold. No, a lot of it is based on people that, cover the teams in many cases. So it has been a wild week when you've got the Colorado AD responding to randos on Twitter saying that we are not going to vote to leave the Pac-12 on Monday. That's telling. And the ultimate thing that we can take from it is there is clearly smoke there, indisputable, and that people around the university are feeling the heat. They are feeling the need to talk about it, to at least address it. Because if it was totally untrue, if there's no way it was part of the conversation, there's not a chance. There's not a chance that you would have the Colorado AD responding to this stuff, and that's exactly what's happening. And that, to me, that makes me, question what exactly is going on here and who knows what. So we'll be watching closely. If we got to jump on in the next couple of days, as always, we will jump on YouTube and jump on the podcast and tell you what's going on and be here for you. So thank you as always. Appreciate you guys joining the show, being a part of it. Subscribe on YouTube. Thank you for helping us grow the show. We're almost to 3,000 subs on the YouTube channel. We've got tens of thousands of hours viewed now on that channel, which we just started ramping up here in the last couple of months. So thank you for that. Hit that button. And on the podcast, we've got the top podcast in the Big 12 for a reason. It's because of you. Subscribe, leave a rating and a review, and we'll get you a Heartland College Sports koozie if you send me a screenshot of that rating and review to Pete Mundo, M-U-N-D-O, at heartlandcollegesports.com. We appreciate all you guys. Hey, by the way, just a quick note. If you are a softball fan, we've got softball bracketology that we're doing on the site. It's leading the site right now on Thursday night. So go check that out. If you're a softball fan, we're going to do bracketology all the way up till the NCAA tournament. So thank you for following everything that we're doing, being a part of what we're doing. And as always, the forums, the message boards are open. They're free. We want to talk to you there. So you guys have a great rest of your day, great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you soon. I'm Pete Mundo, Heartland College Sports. Covering the Big 12 is how you find us, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.